Well, I want to thank everybody for being here. This is the first day of the new term in terms of work. It's not that long ago we had the election, I have to say. So I'm going to start today by focusing on education. My first meeting right after this is with Dr. Battle. I'm going to be having a lengthy meeting with the Finance Department later today, and then on Thursday we'll be meeting with the Controller with, I believe, Bob Mendez. So it's going to be a great moment to have the chairman of the Budget and Finance Committee and the mayor involved in the discussions with the controller. We're going to be meeting with department heads throughout this week. And tomorrow we're going to have a reception here in the mayor's office for the Metro Council and their families and department heads and their families. And you all are invited to, of course, from 4 to 6 before the council meeting begins. And then I'll be making a few remarks to the council with tomorrow night's session. I have a school visit on Wednesday, and then we're going to be focused on making Nashville for everyone, on neighborhoods, on restoring fiscal responsibility and restoring trust. Now, in terms of some personnel, Talia Lomax Donil has been really such a professional. She has decided to change her role and step down from being finance director. This is her decision. She came from the civil service. She would like to return to civil service and no longer be the finance director. She is the interim, however, as we have a transition for a period of time. And she has volunteered, and I expect her to be a great help from her civil service position in finance to the new director of finance. And again, I just want to emphasize she decided some time ago, before the election, that she would prefer to return to civil service rather than be in the finance director's role. Now, you know about Brenda Haywood as the deputy mayor for community engagement. You all will, who spend time in the building, she is going to have the deputy mayor's office here, Rich Riebling's, Greg Hinote's old office. She's going to be in that office and get to work on community engagement. Now, I have a few exciting announcements to make. One is the director of finance is going to be Kevin Crumbo, and he is outstanding. Part of the reason for the announcement today is he has to step down from his position as president of the Nashville Symphony, which he's had a prominent role in over the last years. He's both a CPA and a law professor and a financial forensic expert and restructuring advisor. I think people will provide the opportunity. He is currently in Africa and about to come back because he's there with the Nashville Zoo. On a project with the zoo, but we'll be back shortly. I'm excited because I think one of my campaign pledges was to bring a high level of kind of private sector expertise and experience to government, and I think in Kevin you absolutely have that. Former senior partner at Kraft Brothers, again, both a law professor and a business school graduate and forensic. I mean, I can't really tell you how many different certified financial degrees he has and numerous awards for his expertise, and I just want to thank him for his service to the city. Now, secondly, it is a super exciting also announcement for me for Paulette Coleman to be my pick for the MDHA board. Now, Paulette is not only a PhD from MIT in urban planning, she has been the chair of NOAA's Affordable Housing Committee and has been a steadfast, knowledgeable, and staunch advocate for affordable housing in Nashville, and I think her role on the MDHA board is exactly the kind of expertise that's really going to make the city great, and I look forward to working with her closely going forward. Now, I want to commend and thank Ralph Mosley, who I believe for health reasons, is having to step down. No one has meant more to Nashville than Ralph Mosley, and his constant generosity and hard work is hard to underestimate. And again, it's with sadness that it's his vacancy that that his seat is becoming vacant. But with Paulette, again, those of you who were in the campaign, this was exactly my point in the Affordable Housing Forum, that Paulette was herself exactly the kind of person I had to be on the MDHA board. And then finally, Kristen Wilson is going to be Chief of Operations and Performance. And Kristen is an outstanding person, and she comes to us from the city of Atlanta. Her husband's job changed, and she moved to Nashville with him. We're very lucky to have her, and in her job as Deputy Chief Operating Officer for Atlanta, every city is kind of organized differently. She had all of the departments under Mayor Kasim Reed in Atlanta, and that's an amazing African-American Democratic mayor of Atlanta. She has had all the departments in the city of Atlanta report to her in her previous job, and I'm grateful for her to bring that expertise to Nashville. And so those are the three big announcements. We're a third of the current staffing of the mayor's office is holding over to help us with the transition, and we're just going to find our way to fulfilling our promises and having a great city. But these three announcements, I think, are very significant. Dr. Coleman, Kevin Crumbo, and Kristen Wilson, I think we're off to a great start. And again, for those who were at the swearing in, I think you already know about Deputy Mayor Haywood and her role, and that's an exciting opportunity to begin to get the community involved in the kind of changes that we need. So thank you all. I hope this is the first of many, many sessions. I'm going to go see Dr. Battle in a moment, but is there a question?
Yeah, are you going to dump the soccer stadium deal? And if the answer is yes, are you going to ask anybody on the Fair Board to resign?
I don't have an answer to that. I am lining up a lengthy set of briefings on where that is today. And I am going to ask for several prominent private sector advisors to come in and listen to the briefing also, and to really, as they say, the true facts, because in that general discussion, there's a lot of lawyering, there's a lot of financing. So the answer on that is I don't have anything to announce on that today, other than I think I'm spending at least 1 hour this afternoon with John Cooper, the Metro attorney, and he also is staying on as interim Metro attorney until there's a smooth transition, to get to the appropriate briefing about really what is the state of play. But I'm sure by the end of this week we will have more specific direction on that.
What's your plan for the district energy system and the sale of that asset?
Equally, I want to spend time with procurement and make sure that it's a good decision for the city. And again, part of that is I want to hear exactly from the people who've been involved in it and why they thought it was a good idea. Anybody who's familiar with the campaign would be aware that I'm puzzled by a lot of these things, not the least of which there being only one bidder, right? And when any situation that you have only one bidder, you're going to have to be extremely careful about whether the city got the appropriate value. Just if one bidder shows up, then that's not really indicating the market, what should be the value to Metro. And why was there only one bidder? So there's a lot of work to be done on each of these things. We're not going to rush it. We're going to do it right. It's going to be careful. And also, I need a great team. I need a great team. And starting out with this, I think you have that the makings of this in these very important areas. Obviously, we'll want Kevin Crumbo's view on this, and he is a valuation expert, by the way, if you look carefully at his biography. Again, his high-level private business expertise and excellence is going to be a great help to the city on these kind of questions. So I think he's back by the end of the week after working with the zoo. All right, yes, Stephen?
Tony had a good rundown this morning of all the promises during the course of the campaign. I was wondering if which one of those you thought would be the most difficult to deliver on?
Don't know yet. I will say I had breakfast and I came to my desk and I pulled out my book, and I also am looking at this. I'm really going to, hopefully within the next day or two, take a big piece of paper and write out what we need to get done and scotch tape it up on my wall. I do feel good today about this start, that with Paulette Coleman, really you're having a focus on housing and affordable housing at MDHA, with Kevin, with the highest level of private sector business due diligence, and that with Kristen, a steady hand that is used to operating departments and performance standards to make sure we have the highest performing, efficient government. And those are three big ones out of the gate, and this is the first day, and then I'm going to need them as tools also to accomplish other parts of our work going forward. Okay, yes, sir.
One budget question for you.
Sure.
The council is saying they want to start holding budget conversations much sooner than normal
Oh, yes.
this fall. And it does sound like there are more council members than ever who are interested in raising the property tax. What are your thoughts about the budget
Well,
and the property tax?
we're not there talking about the property tax. I want to say how pleased I am that Bob Mendez, my old colleague on Budget and Finance, is the chairman. I also think it's useful that he and Kevin Crumbo have famously worked together on other difficult financial matters that were very important to the city. So I think we are beginning to assemble a team that frankly will be working every day between now and the next fiscal budget, but every day between now and June for sure, to begin to get the priorities served. So in terms of a great team coming together, I think Bob and Kevin and I will be a great team, and I think Paulette is so important in beginning to get focused on making affordable housing the kind of priority in the city that it needs to be. Okay. Super. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, this is the thing about cities. There is a lot of need, and we'll have, I've had some great conversations and thoughts going ahead on that. And again, every few days, I hope to have an event like this where we can make other exciting announcements for the city. Day one, you got to get your finance director in place and get your operating world working, and then show if there's a day one priority. Beyond that, let's just thank Dr. Coleman for her willingness to serve in MDHA, and then I need her in place to begin the kind of conversations on affordable housing that we need to have as a government. But I've got my cup of coffee, I got my yellow pad, and I've got Dr. Battle in the other room, and I just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.